We have, again, our grips in here. Nice posture, good control. Remember, we're trying to grip primarily with the bottom two fingers here because we want to have the mobility in our wrist to be able to move, and we're actually stronger pinching down here than up here, okay? So we want to sort of have that loose, sort of like a trigger grip almost, okay? So we're in here like that. Onto the collar. Now, as I check the time, and I want to try to offset my partner's weight because we're trying to get a slight reaction where he wants to go backwards. Okay, so I'm doing a backwards throw, I'm taking him to his backside, so I want his weight going in that direction. So I'm going to lift him up as I step through here with the hope that he sort of counteracts that and puts his weight back. Now once I'm in this hip-to-hip position here, remember I want to step in line with his foot or further. And I'll explain why in just a moment. But when I'm in this position here, now my foot comes through, and most of this throw is actually upper body. Like a lot of judo techniques, it starts with the upper body, and then the foot is really just the icing on the cake. People think about this big leg reap, but they don't think about the upper body, and then they get counted and taken down. So we're in our position here. We're going to step, get in close. The leg comes through, pointing down. We want to have our foot like a ballerina. Okay, so get your point on your toe here. Now, this hand that's on the shoulder is going to drive as we lean forward. And the last thing that happens is we just reap that leg. Now, when I do that, I don't want to put it on the ground here, because if I push him, he can step over the top of it, and I won't take him down. And that's a really, really common mistake to see people do. They go for the throw, and they go here, and they just step straight over the top. Okay, so when I'm in this position here, I drink from the tee, I check the time, boom, I'm hip to hip. Now my hands are driving, my leg comes through and I just reap that leg backwards. Here. So see how I'm on one foot. That foot there doesn't actually go down to the floor until I've finished the takedown. It goes straight to knee on belly. And I end here, okay? So I've got my grips here, step as I get his center of weight up, boom, hip to hip. Swing through, drive, and he should be falling over before my leg actually makes contact. Okay, again, the leg just helps, but he should realistically fall even if I don't use my leg. Okay, so if I go here, I didn't actually use my foot at all, he should still fall. Okay, so we have our grips here, lift, leg comes through, drive, reap that leg out, and then I land with my knee on the belly, good posture, ready to attack that arm. Everyone know that? Right, now, if they're strong and they're locking down, it's very hard to lift that arm. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use that strength of theirs against them. So I'm going to fake like I'm trying to pull that up, because naturally he wants to pull it down. Okay, so I'm going to go boom. As he pulls it down, I'm going to try and jam his elbow into his sternum. What I'm trying to do is this, because he's strong front on here. If I'm trying to get hip to Milton and he straight arms me, I can't get in, and then I get tempted, I use this, and now I'm in a horrible posture and he can use the same throw against me. Okay, so what I want to try and do is I want to get that bend in that arm. So that's why for this throw, the grip on the elbow is really good. I try to lift, doesn't work. So now I'm going to drive straight in. And as I drive in, I step in close and see this hand shifts over the top. Almost think about you're trying to punt like coat hanger him. Yeah, your bicep is basically going straight into his face, essentially. Okay, so he's got this stiff arm here. I can't lift because he's kind of locking down, so I'm trying to pull. I jam that in, step through, and look, my head is over my knee or foot. I don't want to be going for the throw back here because now my weight's back here. So as I step in, I go boom, I'm in here. Okay, nice and close. Leg comes through, same thing, try your hardest to finish with that leg still in the air. Okay, takes a little bit of getting used to, but it'll take away that temptation to do this, and then they just step straight over the top. Okay? So we're here, we're trying to lift, but he's stiff arming, in. Step and lean forward. It's a shorter swing with the leg now because you don't have to go all the way through because of your posture. So I'm in here, plant, land with that knee right on the belly, ready to attack the arm or control. So here we are, he's locking that arm in, I can't lift, can't lift, can't lift, ooh, in. And see this one's nice and high, lift, and then come to my knee on belly. Right down, and we've ended up in this position here. So the first technique we're going for is an arm lock on that same outstretched side. Okay, now this is a very quick arm lock. It's very good off the knee rise. So we land here. What I need to do is I need to pivot on this knee. So see my foot, when I do my knee ride, my foot will kind of be down towards his hip, either in the air or you might have it all the way through if you're trying to block a guard pull. It's going to be down here though. So I'm going to pivot on that knee so that my foot goes under his shoulder. Just like we did on that sort of semi-flying armbar on the last technique. So I've ended up down here. So now I'm going to transfer, I apologise in advance, I transfer my weight so that I can pivot that foot under that shoulder blade as my other leg throws over his head. So I end up, try to take the weight off you for a second. So in one move, I go here, here. Okay, and now this becomes super important. This foot pulling up under his shoulder should lift him off the ground. So see how he's not on the floor? If that's not active and he's down here, even if that's over, he can now do the hitchhiker escape and he can roll away. Yeah, but when I do this technique correctly and his shoulder's elevated, so I did the throw, I ended here, so I pivot. Now, because he's up in the air, it's very hard for him to now run away from me, because I've got his back up in the air. Now, consider I have that leg over his head as well. Yeah? So I'm here, I take him down, bang, I land, I transfer my weight to my knee as I put my foot up under the armpit, and I'm here. So now it's really hard for him to run away from me. To make it harder, I've got this lapel to slow him down, and I can always angle his thumb. So if I can turn his thumb to face his legs, do the hitchhiker now, he can't get away from me, and I can still finish. But if his thumb turns to face his head, now he can get the angle of his elbow to change, and he can run around and end on top. So the way that I stop him from doing that is I turn that thumb to face the legs as I bring the shoulder up off the floor. So I did the takedown, landed, I pivot, throw the leg over, now I clamp, and I want to roll my grip like that. Okay, you don't even need your hands. And now from here, you go to finish, and you've got it. Okay? So once more, sorry Milton. Did my throw, landed here. So in one movement, this swings over his head as this shin goes underneath this arm. Pulling him up. Roll that thumb, pinch the knees, and then hyperextend. Alright, so we've done our throw. We've ended up in this position here. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to change this grip. So at the moment, we have 4 fingers on the outside, thumb on the inside. What we're going to do is we're going to change that grip to 4 fingers on the inside, thumb on the outside. Okay, so we're here like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive my knee across his arm to break that grip and to sort of get that, because I don't want him defending. Just let go for 1 sec. As I go to choke, he's going to start to defend. Okay, so I'm going to try and get rid of that defense. I'm going to preempt it. So I'm going to change my grip and I'm sliding in here as I cut that across there. So now he doesn't have that hand to defend. Now at this point, to stop him moving, I apologise in advance, what I'm going to do is I'm going to curl my wrist in as I drive my elbow right into his sternum. So my wrist now is back like this, there's no weight on him at all. Okay, but now I'm going to start to do that, to put weight on him. Now my thumb is going to come in and I'm going to shake and shake and shake and shake and shake until my hands are touching. Okay, once I'm in this point here, I'm going to slide this forearm across his neck. My goal is to get my elbows to meet. Okay, so I'm here like this. I'm putting that pressure down to maintain control. Slide that one in. So I'm holding a baseball back grip. Cricket bat, golf club, whatever you want to think of. Tennis racket, anything. Okay, so I'm here like this, putting pressure down. I'm going to start to put my head down. I turn my other leg towards north-south as I bring those elbows together. And I finish on the neck. So, you right? Yep. We did this throw here. I'm going to change to this palm up grip inside the collar, cut and break that grip there. Okay, so now that's pinned to the ground. But now I don't have control of his body, so I'm going to start to lean my weight. Can you feel that? Can you speak? There we go, see? If they can't speak, you're doing it right. Other hand goes thumb in, and you're going to have to be a little bit sort of shaky, aggressive to get really close. You don't want to be doing this choke out here, because then it has way too much movement. He's going to turn, he's going to get his head inside, he's going to come up onto his knees. So you want to get in nice and close like that. Okay, once I'm here, the hand that's under the head stays relatively straight. It's this top hand that brings the elbow down that cuts across the neck. And because this one's straight here, this side of his neck, it can't really go anywhere. And as this one comes across, it gets tight, and then that'll put the choke on. So one's sort of a wedge, and the other actually does the choke. So we end up off our throw, bang, O Soto Gari, we end up here. I go palm in, drive the knee through, transfer my weight, and I'm controlling. Get my baseball bat grip. Now as I pivot, head comes down. Like that. Okay. One more time. Sorry, mate. I'll go a bit lower so I don't crush you as much this time on your ribs. Palm up. What I can do to help, if you find that you have to lift that leg here, just drive that elbow down and then slide your knee over. Okay? So I'm here, change my grip, drive the elbow down as I cut my shin over, leaning my weight on my opponent here. Thumb comes in, shake to get my grip, big long step as my head comes down, elbows meet,